She stormed into the bathroom, her designer heels clicking like thunder on the marble floor. "What the hell do you think you're doing, bathing my daughter in a goddamn pot?" Anastasia bellowed, her voice echoing off the walls as little Emma giggled in the makeshift tub. But as Magnolia looked up, her eyes filled with quiet defiance and unspoken pain. The air thickened with a truth that would shatter everything Anastasia thought she knew about her empire and her heart. Anastasia Vanderbilt paced the expansive living room of her Upper East Side penthouse, the city skyline glittering like a sea of diamonds beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows. At 38, she was the epitome of American success. A self-made billionaire in tech, her company revolutionizing AI-driven healthcare. But success came at a cost. Her marriage to her ex-husband, a charming venture capitalist named Richard, had crumbled under the weight of her ambition, leaving her with sole custody of their 4-year-old daughter, Emma. Richard had vanished into the ether of Silicon Valley parties, content with occasional visits and alimony checks that barely scratched the surface of Anastasia's fortune. Hiring a nanny had been a necessity, not a luxury. Magnolia Harper entered their lives 3 months ago, recommended by a trusted agency. At 32, Magnolia was a breath of fresh air, soft-spoken, with a southern drawl from her Georgia roots, her curly auburn hair often tied back in a practical ponytail. She had a degree in early childhood education but carried the quiet scars of a life less privileged. Anastasia appreciated her efficiency. Emma adored her. But that afternoon everything changed. The incident with the pot wasn't planned. Magnolia had been giving Emma her bath when the high-end jacuzzi tub malfunctioned, a rare glitch in the otherwise flawless home. Improvising, she filled a large stainless steel pot from the kitchen, clean, spacious enough for a toddler, and turned it into a playful adventure. Emma splashed happily, bubbles flying everywhere. That's when Anastasia burst in, fresh from a board meeting where she just closed a multimillion-dollar deal. Her rage was instantaneous, fueled by exhaustion and the ghosts of her own upbringing. Anastasia's parents had been blue-collar workers in Detroit, scraping by in a cramped apartment where baths and buckets were a norm she vowed to escape. "This is unacceptable," she snapped, scooping Emma out and wrapping her in a plush towel. "I pay you to provide the best for my child, not some backwoods nonsense." Magnolia stood slowly, water dripping from her sleeves, her hazel eyes meeting Anastasia's stormy blue ones. "It was just a quick fix, Ms. Vanderbilt. The tub's broken. I called maintenance already." Her voice was calm, but there was a flicker of hurt that Anastasia ignored in the moment. That night, as Emma slept soundly in her princess-themed room, Anastasia poured herself a glass of Cabernet and replayed the scene. Why had it triggered her so deeply? She scrolled through her phone, glancing at Magnolia's resume again. Orphaned young, fostered in rural Georgia, worked her way through college. Humble beginnings, much like her own. A pang of guilt hit her, but she pushed it aside. Business first, always. The next morning, over coffee in the sun-drenched kitchen, Anastasia attempted an apology. "About yesterday. I overreacted. The tub's fixed now." Magnolia nodded, flipping pancakes for Emma. "No harm done. Kids are resilient." Their eyes lingered a second too long, and Anastasia felt an unfamiliar warmth. She shook it off. She didn't have time for distractions. As weeks passed, Magnolia became more than a nanny. She organized Emma's playdates with a natural ease, turning the penthouse into a home rather than a showcase. Anastasia found herself lingering at breakfast, sharing stories of her rise from nothing. "I built this from a garage in Palo Alto," she'd say, gesturing to the empire. Magnolia listened, her smiles genuine. "That's inspiring. But money isn't everything, right?" One evening, after tucking Emma in, they shared a bottle of wine on the balcony. The city buzzed below, alive with possibility. "Tell me about Georgia," Anastasia urged. Magnolia's face softened. "Peach orchards, humid summers, and a lot of church. I left to find myself, away from folks who didn't understand." Her voice trailed, hinting at deeper stories. Anastasia leaned in, their shoulders brushing. For the first time in years she felt seen, not as the billionaire but as Anna, the woman beneath. But cracks were forming elsewhere. Richard reappeared, demanding more visitation rights, claiming Anastasia's workaholic ways were harming Emma. In a heated call he sneered, "You're turning her into a miniu, cold and isolated." It stung, echoing her fears. That night, seeking solace, Anastasia confided in Magnolia. "He's wrong, isn't he?" Magnolia's hand covered hers. "You're a great mom. Just let people in." Their bond deepened subtly. A shared laugh over Emma's antics, late-night talks about dreams. Anastasia noticed Magnolia's quiet strength, her way of making the ordinary magical. One rainy afternoon, as they baked cookies, flour dusting their faces, Anastasia realized her heart raced around her. Was this attraction? She'd always identified as straight, her marriage a testament. But Magnolia stirred something new, tender. Yet doubt crept in. Anastasia's assistant mentioned overhearing Magnolia on the phone, discussing the plan with someone. Paranoia from boardroom battles made her suspicious. Was Magnolia after her money? The thought poisoned their growing closeness. The suspicion festered like a hidden wound. Anastasia hired a private investigator discreetly, old habits from corporate espionage. The report came back clean. Magnolia had no criminal record, just a string of nanny jobs and a breakup with a college girlfriend years ago. Girlfriend? Anastasia paused at that detail. It explained the subtle vibes, the way Magnolia's gaze lingered. But why hide it? Confrontation came unexpectedly. During a charity gala at the Met, Anastasia left Emma with Magnolia. Returning early, she found them in the nursery, Magnolia reading a story with Emma curled in her lap. The scene was domestic, heartwarming, until Anastasia spotted a letter on the dresser, partially open. It was from a law firm in Atlanta, mentioning inheritance dispute and family estate. "What is this?" Anastasia demanded, waving the paper. Magnolia's face paled. "It's personal. My aunt passed. There's a fight over her farm." But Anastasia's mind raced to betrayal. "Are you using us? Spying for Richard?" The accusation hung heavy. Magnolia's eyes welled. "How could you think that? I care about Emma. And you." The argument escalated, voices hushed to spare the child. "You've been too perfect," Anastasia spat. "No one's that genuine." Magnolia stepped back, hurt etching her features. "Maybe because you've forgotten what genuine looks like, buried in your billions." She grabbed her coat and left, the door clicking shut like a finality. Anastasia regretted it instantly. Emma woke crying for Maggie. Days blurred into regret-filled haze. Work suffered. Board members whispered. Then a bombshell. Her CFO called an emergency meeting. "Anastasia, we've uncovered discrepancies in the company's founding funds." Her heart sank. Richard had invested seed money, but new audits revealed he'd siphoned funds through shell companies. Worse, the truth about her wealth emerged. Much of it built on his fraudulent loans, now under IRS scrutiny. Panic set in. Her empire, her escape from poverty, was crumbling. In desperation, she drove to Magnolia's modest Brooklyn apartment, rain pounding the streets. Knocking, she was met with wary eyes. "I was wrong," Anastasia admitted, soaked and vulnerable. "About everything." Magnolia let her in, offering tea. As they talked, walls crumbled. Magnolia shared her past. Coming out in a conservative town, losing family support, rebuilding alone. "I didn't tell you because I didn't want pity or assumptions." Anastasia confessed her fears, the isolation of success. "I've pushed everyone away. But you make me want more." Their hands intertwined, a spark igniting. In that small kitchen under flickering lights they kissed, soft, tentative, a revelation. It wasn't about labels, it was connection. But drama loomed. Richard, sensing weakness, sued for custody, claiming Anastasia's unstable lifestyle, after spotting them together at a park. The court battle was brutal. Tabloids splashed headlines. Billionairess' secret affair with Nanny rocks empire. Anastasia fought fiercely, hiring top lawyers. Magnolia stood by her, testifying to Anastasia's devotion as a mother. "She's more than her money," Magnolia said on the stand. "She's kind even when she hides it." Amid the chaos, their love blossomed in stolen moments. Picnics in Central Park, where Emma chased pigeons, oblivious to the storm. Late nights discussing futures. Magnolia dreaming of opening a daycare. Anastasia vowing to downsize her life. But betrayal struck deeper. Anastasia's best friend, jealous of her success, leaked financial details to Richard, amplifying the scandal. Hurt and furious, Anastasia confronted her. "Why?" the friend sneered. "You had it all, now taste humility." It broke something in Anastasia, but Magnolia's embrace mended it. "We're stronger together," she whispered. As the trial peaked, evidence surfaced. Richard's fraud exposed him, not her. The judge ruled in Anastasia's favor, granting full custody. But the victory was bittersweet. Her company faced restructuring, fortunes halved. In the aftermath, they retreated to a cabin in the Adirondacks, snow blanketing the world in quiet. Emma built snowmen, while Anastasia and Magnolia talked futures. "I thought wealth defined me," Anastasia admitted. "But it's you two who do." Rebuilding wasn't easy. Anastasia stepped back from CEO duties, appointing a trusted deputy, focusing on philanthropy, funding LGBTQ+ youth programs, inspired by Magnolia's stories. Their relationship evolved slowly, respecting Emma's world. No rushing, just natural progression. Date nights in cozy diners, hands held under tables, laughter echoing. But shadows lingered. Magnolia's inheritance dispute escalated. Her estranged brother claimed the farm, dragging her to court in Georgia. Anastasia offered help, but Magnolia insisted on independence. "This is my fight." Flying south, Magnolia faced family ghosts, homophobic relatives who disowned her years ago. The trial was emotional. Her brother accused her of abandoning roots for city sins. Anastasia surprised her by showing up, Emma in tow. "We're family now," she said in the courthouse hallway. The gesture swayed the judge. Magnolia won partial rights, enough to preserve the land as a community center. Returning to New York, gratitude deepened their bond. One spring evening on a Hudson River cruise, Anastasia proposed. Not marriage yet, but commitment. "Will you build a life with me?" Kneeling with a simple ring, etched with peach blossoms for Georgia. Magnolia's yes sealed it with tears. Drama resurfaced via an anonymous letter. "Your nanny's hiding more." Enclosed were photos of Magnolia with an ex-girlfriend, recent dates stamped. Betrayal? Anastasia's trust wavered. Confronting her, Magnolia explained. "It was closure coffee, nothing more. I ended it before us." But doubt poisoned. Anastasia withdrew, burying in work. Magnolia felt the chill. "If you can't trust me, what's left?" A fight ensued, words like daggers. Magnolia packed, leaving for Georgia temporarily. Emma's tears mirrored Anastasia's heartbreak. Alone, Anastasia reflected. Her wealth had isolated her, breeding paranoia. Therapy sessions revealed patterns. Abandonment fears from childhood, amplified by Richard's deceit. She realized love required vulnerability. Driving to Georgia, she arrived at the farm under starry skies. Magnolia was in the orchard, fireflies dancing. "I was wrong again," Anastasia confessed. "Fear made me blind." Magnolia's forgiveness came with conditions. No more investigations. Trust or nothing. Reconciliation was sweet, walks through blooming fields, Emma picking peaches. They decided to split time between city and country, blending worlds. Anastasia sold parts of her company, donating proceeds to underprivileged kids, echoing her roots. Yet, high drama hit when Richard, bankrupt from fraud charges, attempted blackmail. "Expose your lifestyle to tabloids unless you bail me out." Anastasia refused, going public instead. In a Vogue interview she came out. "Love is love. My family is my truth." The backlash was fierce. Conservative investors pulled out, but support flooded in. LGBTQ+ allies rallied, boosting her brand. Magnolia stood proud beside her. "We're unbreakable." As summer faded, they hosted a gathering at the farm. Friends, family remnants, celebrating unity. Emma danced under string lights, oblivious to journeys traveled. Anastasia and Magnolia shared a slow dance, whispers of forever. But life tested again. Magnolia's health scare. A lump found during a routine check. Fear gripped them. Waiting for results, they clung together, vowing no regrets. Benign, thankfully. It reinforced. Wealth meant nothing without health, love. With renewed purpose, they advocated for women's health, Anastasia funding clinics. Their story-inspired podcasts, books pitched. But they guarded privacy, focusing inward. Conflict arose internally. Anastasia's lingering workaholism clashed with Magnolia's desire for simplicity. "We have enough, let's live," Magnolia urged during a heated dinner. Anastasia snapped, "This is who I am." Storming out, she wandered Central Park, memories flooding. Childhood poverty, drive to succeed. But now success felt hollow without balance. Returning, she compromised. "Teach me your way." Magnolia smiled. "Starts with presence." They enrolled in couples counseling, unpacking baggage. Sessions revealed Magnolia's insecurities, feeling less than beside a billionaire. "I'm just a nanny," Anastasia countered. "You're my equal, my heart." Emma grew, starting kindergarten, her innocence at anchor. One day she drew a family portrait. Two moms, herself, hearts abound. "Is this us?" Anastasia teared up. "Yes, baby." External betrayal struck. A former employee fired for embezzlement, leaked emails twisting their relationship into scandal. Headlines screamed, "Billionairess' nanny affair. Exploitation or love?" Protests outside the penthouse, paparazzi hounding. They hunkered down, but tension mounted. Magnolia questioned, "Is this worth it?" Anastasia defiant. "For us? Absolutely." Hiring PR, they countered with authenticity. A joint TED Talk. Love beyond labels. Vulnerability won hearts. Backlash faded. In quieter moments, romance flourished. Weekend getaways to Napa, wine tastings under vines. Magnolia surprised Anastasia with a homemade pot pie, joking about the infamous pot. Laughter healed. As years ticked, wait months since our tale spans two, they faced Magnolia's brother's reconciliation attempt. At a family reunion, he apologized. "I was wrong about you." Healing bridged gaps. Anastasia's fortune stabilized, but she diversified into ethical tech, mentoring young women. Magnolia opened her daycare in Brooklyn, empowering single moms. A pivotal night. Thunderstorm raging, power out. Huddled with candles, they shared deepest fears. Anastasia admitted, "I yelled that day because it reminded me of my past, afraid Emma would know struggle." Magnolia, "But struggle built you. And us." Their love, once tentative, became profound. Acts of service, whispered affirmations. No grand gestures, just everyday devotion. Climax built. Richard's final ploy. Kidnapping threat via a deranged associate. Alerted by FBI, they fortified. In a tense standoff at a neutral site, Anastasia faced him. "End this." For Emma. Richard, broken, surrendered. Justice served. He faced prison. Relief washed over. In the aftermath, they vowed renewal. A small ceremony in Georgia, vows exchanged under peach trees, Emma as flower girl. In richness and poverty, they promised, twisting tradition. Life settled into rhythm. City buzz, country calm. Anastasia wrote a memoir, Beyond the Billions, donating proceeds. Magnolia's center thrived, kids' laughter echoing. Yet, humanity shone in small ways. Volunteering at shelters, teaching Emma empathy. Their story, once drama-filled, became testament to resilience. As autumn leaves painted New York in gold, Anastasia and Magnolia reflected on their journey. From that explosive bathroom scene to this, a family forged in fire. Emma, now 5, asked innocent questions. "Why two mommies?" They explained with books and hugs. Love makes families. Challenges persisted. No fairy tale is flawless. Anastasia's company faced a hostile takeover bid from rivals. Late nights returned, straining bonds. Magnolia confronted, "Choose us or the empire." Anastasia evolved, sold controlling shares, prioritizing peace. Freed, she discovered joys overlooked. Painting with Emma, gardening with Magnolia. Their love deepened, emotional intimacy trumping physical, though tender touches spoke volumes. A humanitarian twist. Inspired by roots, they founded a foundation aiding foster kids, especially LGBTQ+ youth. Galas raised millions, but fulfillment came from personal stories. Teens finding homes, echoing Magnolia's past. Betrayal's echo faded, but a final test. Anastasia's mother, long estranged, reached out. Dying of illness, she sought forgiveness. "I was hard on you," she whispered in a Detroit hospital. Anastasia, with Magnolia's support, reconciled. "We all deserve second chances." Her passing brought closure, inheritance modest but meaningful. A reminder wealth isn't currency. In a poignant moment, they revisited the penthouse bathroom. Remember the pot? Magnolia teased. Anastasia laughed. Best mistake ever. They bathed Emma together, in the tub this time, splashes symbolizing joy. The story's arc bent toward hope. Highs of romance. Anniversaries celebrated with Georgia peaches shipped north. Lows of drama. Media scrutiny, but they weathered, emerging stronger. Ketuk Nan Van arrived not in grandeur but subtlety. On a crisp winter day, walking hand in hand through snow-dusted streets, Emma between them, Anastasia realized. True wealth was this love unquantifiable. They adopted a sibling for Emma, a baby girl from foster care, completing their circle. Challenges ahead, but armed with empathy they faced them. Years later, though our tale condenses, their legacy endured. Anastasia's tech innovations saved lives. Magnolia's center nurtured souls. Emma grew proud of her moms, advocating equality. In quiet evenings they shared wine on the balcony, city lights twinkling. From rage to this, Anastasia mused. Magnolia kissed her. Love's the real fortune. And so in America's heartbeat, New York, they lived authentically, a beacon of resilience, romance, and humanity. No perfect ending, just ongoing beauty and imperfection.